Yo people, welcome back to another video, and this is essentially part 2 of the Ultimate Sekai Taikai video that I made yesterday. If you want to watch part 1, the link will be down below in the description. It will be the first one. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a knockout phase for both the male and female divisions of the Sekai Taikai. In the previous video, I picked the candidates and explained why I thought each candidate could win. So in order to get the brackets, I went onto this knockout tournament generator thing, submitted all the candidates, and the website picked these matches at random. And luckily we got some good matches. We'll start with the female division, and this is what the website generated. Match 1 being Tori versus Julie Pierce, and for me, I think Tori would win this. She has more experience in tournaments and in karate in general. She knows Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do fighting styles, and I think she's slightly stronger than Julie despite them sharing similar character traits. So overall for me, Tori goes through. The next match is Zara versus Sam, and I think this would have been interesting to see in the show, but overall I'd go with Sam. I think she wouldn't let the trash talking get to her. She is a lot more composed than Zara, who relies on her explosive moves. I believe with Sam's defense it would neutralize Zara's attack and also her pace while tiring her out, and then it's just a matter of her switching to the offense and picking the right times to strike. I also think that with Daniel as her sensei, it boosts her chances of winning. This sets up the final of Tori versus Sam, and I prefer Tori as a character and as a fighter. However, I think Sam would win this fight. We saw that she should have won in season 4 in the All Valley final, but the ref was interfering doing his corruption gig. I do think the show implied that Sam was better at fighting than Tori, with the fact that she mentored Tori in part 3. Now, if the roles were reversed, I'm sure the same would have happened, but I think Sam is just more well-rounded of a fighter than Tori. Also, her mindset is better. So even though I prefer Tori as a fighter and as a character, I do think Sam would win. Tori may have a chance if she starts using her power or somehow she manages to rattle Sam, but overall I'd say the female champion of the Sekai Taikai would be Samantha LaRusso. Next is the male division, and this is what the website gave me in the random generator. Very interesting matches, and the first one is Robby versus Mike Barnes. In my opinion, I think Robby wins this. For starters, he wouldn't be scared like Daniel. I think Robby's defense is also much better than Daniel's, but not only that, Robby's attack is far superior, which can be used to overwhelm Mike Barnes as he is a very attack-minded fighter. If you get aggressive and don't give him a chance to attack, then you expose his weakness and stop him from using his strength. The next match is Johnny Lawrence versus Kwon. Now, I know people will probably say this is a no-brainer and this will be a battering, but this is probably the one that I struggled with the most in the whole bracket. You got attack versus attack, Cobra Kai versus Cobra Kai. People will say Johnny can't handle all them flare moves and all these kicks, but I'd like to mention that Kwon's fighting style is similar to Vidal from the Karate Kid. Obviously it's not to the same level, but Johnny still dealt with Vidal very well. And in the end, yes, I do believe Kwon would overpower Johnny, but I don't think it would be a battering like how people say it would be. The third quarter final is Chosen versus Axel, and I believe that Axel would win this with ease. Daniel managed to defeat Chosen in a fight till the death in Karate Kid 2, so I think Axel would manhandle Chosen the same way we saw Axel do it to Kwon. Last but not least is Miguel Diaz versus Daniel LaRusso, the two Karate Kids of their generation. And for me, it's Miguel that wins. The experience, the ability to use both fighting styles, the height and strength advantage, everything overpowers Daniel LaRusso. He has Miyagi in his corner, which I'll give him that. He can get some strategies or something going, but I just don't think Daniel's abilities match up to Miguel. That brings us to the semi-finals, which would be Robby versus Kwon. And they are fighters that share a lot of similarities and parallels as well as personalities. Kwon is what Robby would have become if he didn't save himself from the anger and the hatred, and Robby is what Kwon would have become if he managed to escape that dark side. I think ultimately Robby would win this. The more he trigger Kwon, the more he's going to lose his head. This may give Kwon more strength. Robby is a far more intelligent fighter who knows how to maneuver his way around all this attack, especially being Miyagi-Do's top male student when it comes to defense. All he would then have to do is just pick off his right moments and win the match. The next semi-final is a rematch of the Sekai Taikai final, and I believe we would get the same outcome, not only because we saw it happen already, but also if we think about Robby, he was cooking as well at one point until his injury. But essentially, Axel's weakness is the counter-attack, and fighters that know how to use both attack and defense. And like I said, we saw Robby use it and we saw Miguel overpower him with his attack. So yeah, I think the same would happen and Miguel goes to the final. This sets up the final, which is Robby versus Miguel. And for me, it's Miguel. But if you choose Robby, it's almost the same thing. They were basically made to be pretty much equals. They're the closest that you have of a rivalry. We do have agility versus strength, but for me, I think we've seen in the show itself who has won more. I won't count season 1 because Robby was injured, but Miguel did win. Season 2, if that was a tournament, then Miguel wins that. Season 5, Miguel won that, no doubts. And season 6, Robby won. So yeah, Miguel does have more wins, but also Miguel has that winning experience and he knows what it takes to get over the line, which Robby doesn't have yet. So for me, the male champion would be Miguel Diaz. But yeah, in part 1, I explained a lot more for each character why they would win. So if you still feel like, oh, I didn't explain enough, link will be down below in the description. But as always, let me know who you would have winning the Sekai Taikai based off of these matches. Let me know your thoughts if you have different outcomes or different matches in mind, any matches that you would want to see, all of that stuff, let me know down below in the comments. I'd appreciate if you could also like the video and sub to the channel as we close in on 1K subscribers. Thank you for your time.